whether it's 10 grand a month or something else, I want you to pay yourself way more than that. And I want you to be grateful and proud to be taking in this amount of money as your net profits every single month because you monetized with selling your own products and services.
Most hosts never achieve the results they hoped for. They're falling short on listenership and monetization, meaning their message isn't being heard and their show ends up costing them money. This podcast was created to help you grow your listenership and make money while you're at it. Get ready to take notes. Here's your host, Adam Adams.
What's up, podcaster? It is your host, Adam A. Adams. This podcast is meant for you to be able to be a better podcaster. So we do everything we can to pour into you. And today we want to talk a little bit about monetization. I'm going to be talking to my editors and my team right now. Hey, team, do me a favor. Will you please queue up all of the episodes about monetization and drop them in the comments? One in particular, for anyone listening, one of those episodes in particular is that there are more ways than one to monetize. And I think on that episode, we talk about 7 different monetization strategies. And in this episode, I'm only going to be talking about one of those ways of monetizing. And I'm going to give you a couple tips in order to do it. So that one way of monetizing is to sell your own products and services. Really, ultimately, if you are a coach or a mentor, you've got a coaching program, you've got an online portal and things like that, or you're like me, like where I have a company that helps people grow their podcasts, where we do all the editing, post-production, marketing, promotion, etc. for people. And it's what I love to do. It's what I enjoy doing. And that's my company. That's what my whole company is founded on. And it's to help other podcasters, right? And so for me, we make a ton of money through the podcast. And I think we shouldn't feel bad about making money because honestly, the more value we add into this world, the more likely we are to monetize. So if we're doing the right things, we're going to be monetizing. When you're at your work and your job gives you a raise, you don't feel bad. You don't say, oh man, I don't know if I can take that extra $3 an hour. Or you don't say, oh man, I don't know if I can take that extra $40,000 a year. I just don't deserve it, right? You're putting in the work. You're doing a good thing. They want to pay you. It is good for you to monetize. In this episode, as I mentioned, I want to talk about something called having your heart in the right place. Recently, I interviewed somebody on my podcast and we were having conversations about this same topic. We were having a little bit of conversation, although not in the depth that I'm sharing with you on this episode. We were just talking about that you should monetize and that one of the best ways to monetize your podcast is through selling your own products and services. And he brought something up where he says, if you are being interviewed on somebody else's podcast, for example, and you're coming from a place of value, then basically the monetization is going to automatically follow. And so here's the idea that I want to kind of put out there. If our main thought is, I need to make some effing money. I'm broke as shit. I need to make some effing money. Like this podcast is costing me money. I need to fix that right now. If your heart is in that place of, I need money, I need money, I need money, you're probably going to be dropping the ball. You're probably going to be losing out on a lot of good stuff that could happen to you where you actually make the money. If that's you, if you are freaking out, if you were like, man, this is costing me so much money, man, I want to be a millionaire overnight. Why is this taking so damn long? If that's you, any of those, if you've said any of those things before, and I think I've caught myself saying all of them, to be honest, probably it's going to be hard for you to monetize right now. Okay. Because I think your listener, your avatar, your perfect client is sensing that desperation. They are sensing that you being focused on you instead of you being focused on your listener, right? And if you are focused on yourself, and then you come across as selfish, you come across as needy, and there's something inside of us when we're listening that makes us not want to touch you with a 10-foot pole. And so the best thing to do is to forget about yourself and just pour into the listener. Give the listener as much value as you can. Give them as much knowledge as you can. Give them as many resources as you can. And take a page out of my book. Something that I do on my podcast is I don't hold anything back. I give you the details on everything. look, if you learn all of these things and you implement them, we both win because I'm happy that you're doing them. If you can't do them because I'm giving you so many details and you're just like, that's a little overwhelming, I'd rather pay you, then we both win because then I can serve you and I can help you take care of that thing. If you get all the details and you can do it and it's successful and you eventually come on my podcast, great. If you go and tell people to listen to my podcast, great. So my heart needs to be in the right place. I need to not be thinking about paying my next rent bill. I need to be not thinking about school starting and I've got to go back to school shopping for my kids and I need to afford all this stuff. I need to not be thinking, man, I can't afford that trip to Hawaii that my sweetheart and I really want to do. By the way, don't today have a sweetheart. I'm just saying, if I had a sweetheart, that trip to Hawaii that we want to pay for, right? So with all of this said, I want you to put your heart in the right place and give without needing to receive. And try this for a good 4 months. Just for 4 months, the only focus I want you to have on your podcast is outwardly facing. It's how can I serve? How can I help? What does my listener need? What does my listener need to learn? Who do I have to have on my show to serve my listener? What type of lead magnet can I have? Not, quote, to get people on my list, but what lead magnet can I have that my avatar really is looking for right now? And as you focus outwardly and stop worrying about yourself, you'll notice, I think it was Zig Ziglar who said, if you help enough other people get what they want, you'll have everything in life that you want. And this next part is not to brag or anything like that. It is not to brag. It is hopefully to inspire. You know me, and if you've listened to all of my podcasts, the last thing that I care to do is show anything off. But what I want to share with you is that the revenue that comes into our company is some months it's in the six figures in a month, and most months it's in the high five figures. But I'm able to comfortably pay myself very good salary out of what the net profits that come in, whereas I never need anything. Like I am happy, I am good. I never say I don't have enough money to do that thing or to buy that thing or to experience that thing. I never have to feel that way. And on my podcast, my true heart on every episode, every question that I ask somebody is always on how does this help you, the person listening? How does it serve you? What is it going to do for you? Have you already wanted to know this? I'm asking these questions and trying to give. And as a natural repercussion, a natural existing of things that happen, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but as a natural cause and effect, we do extremely well in our company. And I don't need anything else. I love the amount the company brings in, that we can help so many people that are clients and also our employees. We'll be at 35 employees. Before you listen to this, we'll already have over 35 employees. And so it means a shit ton to me to know that I'm offering to 35 people decent incomes. It means a shit ton to me that I'm able to pay myself the exact dollar amount that I've always wanted. I remember once upon a time, I was thinking that 10 grand a month was like, you've made it. When you got 10 grand a month, you've made it. I pay myself a lot more than that every month, and it's been wonderful. And I only have gratitude for it. And the reason for me to bring this up to you, the main reason why you are knowing this intimate detail about my finances is because I want you to have it. I want for you to put your heart in a selfless, outwardly facing, giving manner, the go-giver. And I want it to do things to you and your business that you've never experienced before. And I want it to blow your mind. And I want you to pay yourself way more than whatever the highest dollar amount that you can think of right now. That whatever that dollar amount that you've always wanted, whether it's 10 grand a month or something else, I want you to pay yourself way more than that. And I want you to be grateful and proud to be taking in this amount of money as your net profits every single month because you monetized with selling your own products and services. So with that said, I feel like I need to give you a couple other tips and tricks that are in and around this. Really, the ultimate thing that I wanted to say is A, sell your own stuff. Okay. Basically offer to help your listener with things that you have. B, It's to make sure your heart is in the right place, because if your heart is in the right place and you are a go-giver and you're helping enough other people get what they want, you'll have everything in life that you want or more. And now C, the third thing, I don't know if I was doing letters or numbers, to be honest, but the third thing, C, is that I want to just pour into you a couple of things that you could be doing to make this happen. So for one thing is I prefer to have my company doing what's called residual income, recurring revenue. Okay. And recurring revenue is coming from my podcast model. And so, for example, I serve people for a year. They can even do a 2-year contract. For my client can even do a 2-year contract if they want us to work for them for 2 years, so they can do that and save the money that way. So we basically have 1 year or 2 available as contracts. And then the way that we usually get paid, most of my services, it's just weekly fee or a monthly fee. There's a couple services where there is a big down payment, like 12 grand or 3,500 or 2,100, I think it is. But anyway, there's a down payment and then there's a smaller monthly fee. All of these different ways of doing it with the recurring revenue, each and every one of them allows me to know that next month I'll be able to pay my team. And next month, I'll be able to pay myself, because we have contracts in place, and some of them end tomorrow, some of them end in 3 months, some of them end in 6 months, some of them are just started. So we got like 6 new clients in the last 2 weeks, probably 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And what that means is 6 of those people that are, let's just say on average, are paying $2,000 a month. Let's just say, I know that revenue will be around for at least the next 12 months. That's the first takeaway for part 3 or part C, is to figure out how do you get some type of recurring revenue stream, cash flow. Instead of chunks of money, piles of money, I want you to think of getting streams of money. This is one of the reasons why in real estate investments, and many of you know I've been doing real estate for a long, long time, since 2005, in fact. So longer than most of the gurus out there. They're trying to sell you courses. I've been in real estate investments since before them, way before that last crash, right? So I'm bragging, of course, right here. I tell you, I try not to brag, but I am proud of the fact that I have so much experience in it. But the point that I'm trying to make it through this is to say that in all of my experience of real estate investments, I've done lots of different things, from mobile homes to self-storage to large apartment communities to small multifamily to single family, doing fix and flips, doing creative types of real estate, owner finance. I've done all these random things, right? And I have decided never to do another effing fix and flip again. You've heard of fix and flips because people pretend like they make like $100,000 in 4 weeks. They're like, oh yeah, we bought this one for 300,000 and we sold it for 400,000 and it only took us 2 months. Okay, you buy it for 300, you sell it for 400. You also had to put in like 60 grand in work. You also had holding costs, and you're also going to have real estate costs, what cost of the fees for the real estate agent, the attorney, the title company. And so in actuality, mother effer, you're making $12,000, not $100,000. You've far exaggerated, but still 12 grand for something like that is not terrible, but that gives you a pile of money. It gives you a chunk of cash. And then what are you going to do with it? What are you going to be able to pay for next month? You've got to save that. You've got to keep that around. You've got to reinvest that. So fix and flips are not as good as they sound on these TV shows that half of us have watched, you are probably included. And rentals and multifamily streams of income, residual income, reoccurring revenue that keeps coming back every single month. Whether you sleep or eat or go on vacation, it's coming in. And that goes back to 2019, the year that I made the most in my life so far, up until that point in 2019. Just in coaching revenue, I made like $642,000, and $642,000 in coaching revenue came from a whole bunch of chunks of money. And yeah, that year I made more than 2 doctors put together, right? What a great year. I was happy, but I was also a little bit miserable. It wasn't easy. And these chunks of money, I would spend them and I wouldn't always have the money sitting in the bank for later. And I got all of these fees all at one time. And then I just had to serve those people for the rest of the year. And I didn't have enough room to kind of get somebody else. So fix and flips, chunks of money. Big, huge coaching fees, consulting fees, like 30 grand, 40 grand at a time, 50 grand at a time, 150,000 at a time. I've got a friend who's also one of our clients who charges 150,000 for you to work with him. This is good. This is wonderful. There's a lot of goodness. I'm not saying it's horrible. What I am saying is I'm way happier being able to pay myself 10, 15, 20,000 a month, whatever that number is for you. I'm way happier being able to comfortably continue to pay myself net profits, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30,000 each and every month, whatever it is for you, than I would be of just getting like $1 million all at once. I know that might sound crazy to most of you, but when you start to experience the recurring revenue, it becomes something that you are really happy about. So again, the three things are, there's a lot of ways to monetize. You should definitely monetize. Consulting is one of the better ways to do it, as long as your heart's in the right place. And you got to remember that you've got to serve other people in order to make that money. You can't just be an asshole and be making this money. It's going to end for you abruptly, right? So just have your heart in the right place and then use some of those tips of streams of revenue instead of chunks of revenue. See if it works for you. See if that's a model that can work for you, and go forth and have a great podcast. And by the way, the next episode is me interviewing somebody, and I'd love for you to listen to that. So don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Don't go away. Stay with the podcast and check out that other episode. I made it for you. See you there. You're not alone if you're ready to either get your very first affordable microphone or if you're ready to upgrade your equipment to some legit podcasting studio equipment. Because on all of the forums over the last few months, I'm seeing this all the time. Even my own personal clients that work with my team, they're ready to get that next microphone. They're asking us for it. Additionally, when I'm on discovery calls with potential clients, they're always asking for this stuff. Hey, what mic do you recommend? Hey, what lighting do you recommend? What webcam should I be using? So many questions. And so what we did, my whole team has put together a PDF so that if you're one of those people who is looking to either get your very first affordable microphone, or if you're ready to upgrade your equipment to more professional podcast studio equipment, whether it's soundproofing or whatever, we've got you covered by going to growyourshow.com/PDF. And you can download the PDF for free, or right there on the webpage is everything that you would have and you don't need to download the PDF. Either way, just go to growyourshow.com/PDF, which will put you to the podcasting equipment that me and my team have personally vetted. I'll see you on the next episode.